All righty, y'all. We are back. Don't know where the whole crew is, but the trio is here. Legendary Saturday nights of the Nerd-O-Roundtable. Yours truly, King Nerdificent Twala Sharp is in the building. I see Anthony from Two Cubicles Down. How you doing, good sir?
Disappointed hello to you, sir.
Ah, damn it,
Oh,
already. Dr. Liz from the freeway.
I am well and hot.
Okay, because it's like still 1,000 degrees in the valley. I swear I drove past hell on the way home from the station. The devil was out on the street corner thumbing for ice. um, Today, I was absolutely sure Tom is talking Cunningham and Twitch master Ryan McBain would be here so they could join Anthony and Dr. Liz in the all out Secret Invasion hate fest. The tweet thread that we have was filled with literally nonstop hate for the Secret Invasion finale, which for me, I love Secret Invasion. I love the intrigue. I love the acting that Ben Kingsley, I think the role that he turned in was phenomenal. I think the scene between him and Fury, aka Gaia, in the season, I thought that scene was absolutely riveting. I'm like, get this dude his supporting actor Emmy immediately because he brought the heat. But the series finale took a horrendous left turn and hit a wall with the final battle between Gaia and Gravik after Fury had given Gaia the Avengers harvest, and she used it to become Super Scroll as well as giving it to Gravik as well.
This
And
had
the
to be
idea
the
of
worst
that,
ending.
I mean, the idea of what they did, I wasn't mad at how they played it. I think the thing that pissed everyone off was how bad the special effects were. I think the look of it was cheesy as hell, and I believe it was rushed. I think it was rushed because when Secret Invasion was coming out, I believe it was in the midst of the writer strike brewing. I don't know if they were able to actually finish this series, which is why it cut off at 6 episodes. And I think the way it was rushed towards the end is indicative of the writer strike, which I know the strike happened full on after the series was already, supposedly in the can and out there. But there was rumblings and all types of division within the Marvel Cinematic Universe creative team going back to hell, even Thor Love and Thunder, where there were people who were in charge of CGI and all that who were literally saying like, yo, they're working us like straight up dogs over
That's the
here.
reason why She-Hulk was so bad.
Like She-Hulk, Ant-Man and the
Physically
Wasp, the
was bad.
CGI, all of these series, they suffered badly because of their CGI and because they were still dealing with pandemic filming constraints. That is why you had a lot of green screen shots. You had a whole lot of spaced out scenes with actors, and that is part of the problem with Marvel hurrying up and trying to do stuff. But for me, the story that they told, it completed for me. I felt that Fury established himself exactly as he wanted to. I believe that Gravik was played out as a complete as a narcissist and the idiot that he was. It's like, and he failed as many narcissistic would-be world conquerors do. But that's me. Ryan, Twitch Master McBain, welcome, good sir.
Yeah. So
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Yeah. I see you're already stroking the beard. It's all good.
No, I'm just saying I'm not feeling well. I'm dying of heat. I just want to get in. And
hey,
get
look.
out,
Hey, Liz is over there dying of heat too. Hey, look, seriously,
So,
both y'all look like y'all on the same hot
I'm
box.
dying, brother.
Liz got the
So
fan going.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get to Anthony and Liz, then I do want to get you in and out and let you brandish your brand of hate as you will. Go on and savage Secret Invasion as you will, good sir.
This is gonna feel like black on black crime to me because I really, really wanted to like this show. There are aspects of the show I really liked. The speeches, the acting. It was all good. It just seemed low budget to me. and I felt like that this should have been a movie instead of having Armor Wars be a movie, because this is something like this is on a global scale, and you should have like more big name people like the Avengers or some Avengers involved in it. I never got that sense of who can you trust. The whole show was just like shock value, and I feel like that people like Agent Hill and Talos died for nothing, because they died for a fucking show that's not that great. It wasn't horrible, it's just not that good. So many questions weren't answered. For example, like, when was Rhodey captured? When was Agent Ross captured? And also, the one thing that really bothered me is like the season finale, obviously, is probably one of the worst season finales I've ever seen. Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought that that was Nick Fury walking to confront Gravik. We all knew who it was. It could only be one person. It was just ridiculous. Now, if you wanted to surprise me and have it be like Talos, I would have been like, oh wow, that's nice.
That could have been who he called.
That could have been a neat little twist, but
yeah,
it made no sense to me. Okay, so is Gaia the most powerful person in the MCU?
Gaia is now the Super Skrull, and I think for me, the thing that bothered me about Gaia,
Gravik died so easily. So
I thought Gaia should have died, because the Super Skrull in comic lore has always been someone who is easily defeated by the likes of the Avengers or the Fantastic Four because of his insanity. It's like his own belief that he was better than everyone because he had all these powers is what made the Super Skrull easy to defeat, which is why I thought Gravik should have gone on. Gravik could have killed Gaia, and that would have been good. But them once again doing a gender swap and making Gaia the Super Skrull, to me, it's once again, it's Marvel doing an unnecessary gender swap.
I had no problem with it because I liked her backstory. She's lost so much. She lost her mother and her father. Speaking of which, they never explained how her mother died.
Just that Gravik got her killed.
Yeah, so like they just
got her killed on a mission. Yeah.
Okay, they just like speed right through it. They made it seem like Gravik was responsible, because she even said, "You killed my mother. You killed my father." Even like plot points that lead into Captain America 4, that lead into the Marvels, they just sped right fast. This season finale was 39 minutes. Like, why are you
5 minutes of credits?
Yeah, why are you rushing shit?
Yeah.
Well, before you came on, I was theorizing that this series ended prematurely because of a lot of the shit that was happening behind the scenes at Marvel, going back to Thor: Love and Thunder, with a lot of the creatives complaining about the MCU trying to work them like slaves essentially and churn out material. A lot of the CGI folks over at Marvel were like, yo man, fuck this. And I think that even though they may not have said so, but I believe that the series was cut short and cut prematurely, because the writing of it almost seemed like they said, hey dude, just give us just one more sheet, one more page, and you can go. And the writer's like, well, fuck it, I'm heading over to the strike right now.
Another thing that made no sense, Fury had so many times to expose Rhodey or Scrody for who he was. Just kill him. You can, right in front of the president, and he'll like change form. Well, I don't know why he was like.
Sense.
It made no sense to me. You could literally just expose him right then and there. I don't know what Marvel is doing. They went on a retreat to plan out 10 years into the future, and they're still putting out lackluster shit like this. Very disappointing.
I'm gonna tell you that this had the capability of being maybe not equally, but up there with Falcon and Winter Soldier,
and Winter Soldier for that matter.
And Falcon and Winter, and this is by far better. Falcon and Winter Soldier is by far the best. Granted, I did like Miss Marvel. I think Miss Marvel had the best ending, but as a whole, because it goes, I mean, we can exactly see how the Marvels will pick up from Miss Marvel, whichever one you want to go. Mm-hmm. But this had such a disaster of an ending that it makes whatever good that came out just fall to pieces. I literally was so disappointed. You know, I'm not the one who is flat out as disappointed as y'all are quick to be disappointed. Like I wasn't upset with WandaVision, the end of WandaVision. Y'all were, right? So,
It was
but
better than
this is just amazingly bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was lackluster. It was underwhelming, disappointing. It was just a horrible ending to what could have been a good series.
And I really want to know why they chose to make Armor Wars a movie and not Secret Invasion a movie. I mean,
well, let's look at it this way. Let's imagine that they make Armor Wars a series the way they made this a series. How horrible that would have potentially turned out to be.
It would have made more sense because they could be more grounded. This you have the Earth in danger, and Fury kept on saying, "Well, I want to handle it myself. I want to handle it myself." And then they also kind of dropped hints that they don't want Graphic to get the DNA. And then the season finale, what happens? He gets the DNA anyway.
Well, I don't know, because when I watched it, I don't think that the world was ever in danger. I think that the series finale exposed Graphic as someone who was operating without a plan from the beginning. Graphic just wanted to create havoc.
You know what?
I don't believe that Graphic had this really well thought out plan, which is why I thought that final speech between him and Fury was so telling and so poignant, because he basically revealed to Gaia that everything that he did was as a result of Fury. And I believe that Fury, even when Gaia and Fury separated, and he said, watch yourself out there, and she said, don't worry, I'm gonna put on a good face, telling us that she was going to be Nick Fury. I think that Fury had thought it out to the point where he's like, this dude isn't serious. There's nothing serious about this dude. This dude is an angry fucking kid, who grew up to be an angrier adult, and he's trying to take it out on the world, and he doesn't have a plan, which is why all the things he tried to do, shooting the missiles at Air Force One, all these plans were just one angry thing after another. There was no real rhyme or reason or thought to anything that this kid was doing.
I have to give a little bit of a pushback, because there were so many Skrulls in top positions. And there were a million Skrulls on the Earth. Fury didn't know what was going on. So
no. I'm just saying, I don't think that Graphic was as serious a threat as
Fury didn't know that, though.
To be.
If Fury would have known that his own people tried to fucking prison shank him, that scene was gangster, by the way. I'll give him that. But Fury didn't know what was really going on. Fury, we were led to believe that Fury was believing that he had control of his people. In reality, that he didn't. We didn't
and again, I don't believe that Nick Fury would have come back and not known the fullness of what this kid was trying to do. I don't think that there was any minute that Fury didn't understand what was going on. And even if he didn't, no matter what, in the end, Gravik was not a serious threat. Gravik was another would-be, world conqueror who had delusions of grandeur. This dude never had a plan. When he lashed out and killed all of the Skrulls who were on his base, that shows this dude had no real
but
plan.
Fury
He
just
just
know that,
wanted
though.
power.
But Fury didn't know
get that.
Wait, Ryan, to be fair, neither did the writers.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
So I'm just going to stand up. I'm going to say, while there were several people on the show who were totally in love with this, after that first episode, I began expressing serious reservations about what the writing of this show was trying to do, because so little of it actually made sense. Love the idea of Secret Invasion. Love the idea of seeing the Skrulls. Love the idea of, we had a big twist. It looked like it was my man from Sherlock, Watson, was actually a Skrull. We didn't know, and then we did know. And at the end of it, it was like, but once it was revealed that Skrulls who could change their shape were living among us, how is Scrody making a threat about Nick Fury killing Maria Hill actually a threat? Because now everybody's on the planet is seeing that there are these creatures that can change their shape. So A, who really cared about Nick Fury like that? B, who really cared about Maria Hill like that? It's not like she was Steve Rogers or anybody. She was some faceless SHIELD agent in a a system that had been destroyed way back when Hydra was revealed. Who really gave a fuck? And then what we end up with is 3 more episodes of decreasing margins of utility until we get to the final end where it's just Gaia as Nick, and they both are super powered, and now she's the most powerful person in the MCU because she's got everybody's powers, and the only person who possibly could have stood up against her is now dead.
That fight didn't even make sense because she was changing into fucking using the powers of Drax. When like, dude, why are you using the powers of Drax when you have the power of the Hulk? And also, Graphic died so easily.
Well, he did get his entire chest punched out by Captain Marvel's punch.
Look, the fight made no sense to me. I'm so fucking confused. I'm gonna use a line the Graphic used. You pimped us, Fury. You pimped us. Marvel pimped me. They pimped me because I was looking past Liz. I'm sorry, Liz.
No, but it's just a sad thing.
No, I just because like, I was looking past like everything Tom was saying. All his critiques made sense, but I was looking past it because I was believing that there was going to be a payoff. I was like, okay, yeah, Tom, maybe you're right, but let's just get to the end. We got to the end, and they pimped us. They pimped us.
Trash.
And you know what made it the ending even worse is now you're hearing all the talks about it post, and everything is like, oh, so who was captured? When was captured? How long were they a Skrull? And it's like, does it even matter?
How did they live inside a nuclear reactor and not die? They were kept in the nuclear power plant in the reactor, and not one of them died.
They didn't even have sheets on. They were in street clothes with seatbelts, and those are not radiation proof. What is going on?
He told Nick to bring iodine pills. You take iodine pills before you go, not when you're there.
He was taking a lot of pills too. How long those pills last? Like 5 minutes?
5 seconds. If your guts are melting inside, them little tablets of iodine are not fixing it. You needed to have it to prevent the impact on your organs. Just eating them as your organs are melting is not a solution. It's not a panacea.
Yeah, this was depressing.
And to go back to Gravik, you want to know who he reminds me of is Jim Jones. He Jonestowned all the Skrulls at the plant. It was Jim Jones.
So why did they need the nuclear strike? That was just to kill the humans?
He wanted to start like a war.
He didn't need the nuclear strike. He was just thing after thing of trying to his ultimate goal. Like, I want to start this war. I want to start this thing.
He wanted havoc.
He wanted havoc. Yeah, he's an anarchist.
Chaos. He wanted chaos.
Like he had fallen into the depths of anarchy.
Fury knew that the Skrulls were reaching it up into the top of the into some of these top positions. Let me tell you why. I think that he knew that they were shape-shifting and doing whatever. Simply because he felt he didn't realize is that they were radicalizing.
No, he didn't. Fury didn't even know there was 1 million Skrulls on Earth. So how would he even know that they're climbing the ranks?
And what were we supposed to believe out of that vast warehouse of bodies on gurneys, which must have been consuming millions and millions of terawatts of power to maintain? When what's her name goes downstairs after meeting with Farnsworth or Fallsworth, whatever.
Where's the Fallsworth?
I think it's Fallsworth is the Fury.
But you had to keep them alive. Didn't you have to keep them alive?
But I'm saying, did Gaia even know? Like, we knew that there were 1 million Skrulls. We didn't know that there were supposed to be countless people who were important enough to keep alive, that the Skrulls were that, you don't have to be somebody, you don't have to take somebody's place in order to have, paperwork on yourself. You could just create new identities. You can do whatever you want if you're a Skrull. So why would you need to have that many people replaced and maintained? That's what I was totally confused about. The ones in the basement, you got the Fox News guy, you got the British Prime Minister.
No, they're all dead.
You got that one. That's fine. 100? Are there 100 people that important in the world political stage? Because you weren't replacing even the president. So you were replacing all these other people. Well, why did you need?
I think they were replacing military leaders. I mean, they were replacing military people. Maybe they didn't have to be as big, but they can be as low.
People who could
see this would make sense with Falcon and the Winter Soldier if you were talking about those super people that were, that they were trying to get the super
Flag Smashers?
Flag Smashers.
Yeah, like it would make sense if you had some of these people who were probably Skrulls to trying to because it seems like a similar basis. I know they have different missions, but a similar in the sense of trying to create a sense of chaos. It makes sense that the Skrulls would take advantage of the blip. So all of that makes sense. I'm not even upset with that part. But what I am upset with is that the ending sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
They spent all the money on that fight scene. That's
and to your point, Ryan,
I don't get it.
The reason for that scene was the fangasm of seeing a person manifest multiple powers. That was really the only reason. They were because ultimately
free guy.
Right. That's all it was.
Free guy moment.
And when you think about other super comparisons like Zod versus Kal-El, or even Zara, whoever the chick was, and the big black dude from Man of Steel, you would figure, all things being equal, a more muscular Kryptonian would be stronger on Earth than a less muscular Kryptonian. So the big black guy who has the exact same power set and military training should have been able to mop the floor with Kal-El, because Zod almost did it, and the black dude had at least 150 pounds of Kryptonian muscle on Henry Cavill. But in this situation, you got skinny ass little Gaia, and not that Gravik was the most buff dude on the planet, but are the physical molecules of a smaller Skrull able to just match the physical molecules of a bigger Skrull just because they both have superpowers? Because
I looked at that as because Gaia had been training and fighting long. I think that she just outfought him, not outmatched him strength wise. But I think that
I was thinking about that too,
just fighting skill. That's all.
Except that they had scanned Captain America, and one of Captain America's super serum bloops is that he's a master strategist, and he's got all this muscle memory and a billion different fight styles and everything else. I would have thought, now man, mind you, Gravik is probably a little crackers. He's skull crazy and Skrull crazy, and so maybe he just wasn't thinking as clearly. Whereas Gaia had, you killed my mama, you killed my daddy.
Yeah, she had reason. She had motivation.
Yeah, she had more motivation, perhaps. But I mean, Gravik was not only a sociopath but a fanatic for 20 years. So it's just like, I don't know. I really don't understand why perhaps Gravik wouldn't have been able to have a better hold on some of the Skrulls if he had given some of the other Skrulls superpowers.
Yeah,
because he's
I said early on that wasn't his plan. I said early on, no one who wants ultimate power wants to share it. No one who wants to be the big dog wants someone else to be the big dog. That's what you say to motivate your followers. You motivate your followers by saying we can all come up, but you're really talking, the we you're talking about is you. And I think that ultimately he just wanted to be the super Skrull.
That was a real quick flip. You don't do some shit like that in the last 45 minutes of a damn series.
I didn't like the whole fight. I didn't like the build up. But the fight was like, yo, they trying to kill your ass.
That was. I thought that was cool. Putting the plastic bag over his head, all of that. I just don't understand why you need superpowers of other people's powers other than the ability to change your shape. Like when Martian Manhunter went to the dark side in the DCEU, he literally put his fingers up a character's nose and expanded his body into their body. He didn't need any other superpowers other than the ability to change his shape to completely get in there and just spoonch, just blow up somebody's head. Now, granted, Gravik had extremis. He probably would have recovered, but you can't tell me in the time it would have taken for him to recover, they couldn't have chopped every little piece off that dude's body just by changing their arms into kind of bladey weapons.
That's why the fight makes no sense. You have Extremis. How does he die so easily? I don't get it. And also,
but Extremis guy was killed the same way in Iron Man 3. He blew out his whole chest and he couldn't recover from that. And that was just Iron Man armor. That wasn't even Tesseract powered Captain Marvel. He blew the man's whole heart out, and there was nothing to build. There wasn't enough to build on.
But you have the power of Captain Marvel, and I'm still saying, it doesn't make sense. What powers were taken from each person. Like I'm trying to grasp that. I'm
and
so
and that well
confused.
that's also the I guess the comic book the comic bookiness of the Super Scroll. The Super Scroll in the comic, he was only able to, even though he can manifest like various portions of the Fantastic Four when fighting.
Right.
From my memory, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, he could only access one power at a time when fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's not true. He just didn't always maintain all of the characteristics of all the powers at once. So like you would see him in any bunch of situations where he'd have the Thing's arm and then be punching like Mr. Fantastic, or maybe turning invisible while he was hitting something. But he never was all thing, all stretch, all fire, all invisible, all at once. So he had to call on the powers to use them. And so that's the only thing I'm willing to give this fight. That Gaia was driven, Gaia understood at least the range of powers that were available to her. Now, there was lots of duplication because Corvus Glaive, or
Cole,
whoever the big dude was.
Cole Obsidian. Yep.
Cole Obsidian.
He was strong and durable, maybe as strong as the Hulk. I don't know why you would need to manifest Hulk or Cole Obsidian, but clearly they were trying to say Cole Obsidian had hard skin, so he's the Thing. And Groot could stretch, so he's Mr. Fantastic. And Extremis had some flavy stuff on it. And they didn't really deal with Invisible Woman until she sort of kind of manifested Ghost's ability to not get squished by the car.
The Invisible Woman.
And that was it. But I don't even know what the Ice Beast was supposed to be about. I tried to frame by frame to see all the different powers, and there weren't really any surprises. Although I would have thought maybe Hawkeye's ability to, always hit its target might have been useful in a pew pew fest where they were missing each other an awful lot.
But that's not
a great
ability,
surprise.
You want
to know what would have been a great surprise? Iron Fist.
Okay.
All right. I don't think he showed up. He didn't
show up because he wasn't in the damn movie.
Yeah, there's no.
His blood wasn't on the field because nobody gave a fuck.
Look, McBain's gonna keep hope alive. Jesus, hey, look, dude, this dude Finn Jones owes you like a steak dinner. You like Ruth Chris, whatever you want. Order on me.
Number one fan right there.
Man,
oh my god! So I'm guessing this pretty much proves that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in its own little universe. I guess that pretty much proves it. We can stop asking how come Fury didn't call upon the a Quake or Coulson. So I guess that pretty much puts that to rest.
No more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like Kevin Feige has made it very clear after his parting ways with dude over at ABC.
Jeff Loeb, I think what his name is. Not Jeff
Loeb. Yeah,
I thought Loeb was over that corner.
Yeah, so after they excommunicated him and got rid of him, that was the end of anything he touched. They're not known for going back. He's done such a great
job with the MCU in the past year and a half. It's been stellar, best ever.
Hey, that is what it is.
Note to Feige: nobody asked for Echo. Just clearing that up. We didn't ask for Secret Invasion. We were happy because we knew the IP, and then you shit on it. Nobody asked for Echo.
Even after you went on a retreat to plan out the next 10 years of the MCU, you're still putting out stuff like
liar.
Look, Echo gets dropped all at once. So that's a straight binge.
Look,
and then you're
I
done.
think that's about the way to say it, Anthony.
Dare I say this? That Peacemaker did Secret Invasion better than Secret Invasion did Secret Invasion.
Okay, yes, we know. You've seen Twitter. Everybody's saying that.
Well, am I wrong?
I can't actually disagree because I enjoyed Peacemaker. And I did not enjoy. I enjoyed the promise of Secret Invasion.
Yes. The potential was great.
I enjoyed the Scrody speech.
Yes.
In Secret Invasion. I thought that was a great speech. I did not expect Dermot Mulroney or Dylan McDermott, whatever the president's name is. I didn't expect him to be such an irredeemable prick.
I know. Right?
I didn't.
Yeah, he should have died.
I was kind of expecting that the Indian prime minister or the Indian power broker Skrull, who did not go along with Gravik. I mean, she ended up living, and so she's kind of a badass, so that's fine. I would have liked
those guys.
Huh?
She killed them.
Took care of those guys at the end.
No, that's what I'm saying. She was a badass, and so she gets credit for that. I would have liked a little bit more from Olivia Colman. I was kind of surprised that she didn't understand that Rhodey was a Skrull. That was fine, but to be on top of things in so many other aspects.
She was great.
Have we talked about when Scrody was replaced, though? Because I have a very strong pitch. I've been saying it for episodes now.
Okay.
I said I believed it happened after Civil War. And I suspected that would be a good time to retcon it, because I don't believe during the time that they actually had plotted this out. I really don't. But I think based on what we saw at the end of the episode, Rhodey was the only person who had to be carried out, and he was the only person still in hospital garments.
Yep.
Everybody else, they were dazed. What happened? But as soon as they stepped out their pods, they were walking out the fucking complex. Rhodey, it took 2 people to carry him out. His legs were not working. If he had been rehabilitated, like I understand he had an exoskeleton, I understand he had these other things, but by the time we got to Infinity War and Endgame, he was like normal.
Yeah,
but he still had that thing on though in Infinity War, the little like thing to help him walk.
But it was so small at that
part
point,
of the play.
It basically looked like it was like regular. You couldn't see it under clothes.
The showrunner pretty much handed that off. We're gonna find out in Armor Wars what happened. Okay,
right.
But if they retcon this, that means like that. Rhodey wakes up and goes, "Yo,
where's Tony?
Where's Tony?"
Right.
He missed
which
on,
ties into Armor Wars.
Half the universe
absolutely. That's perfect.
Back.
What's more perfect than a flashback with Robert Downey Jr. or a recreation with Barf for a reconciliation he never was able to have? You want Robert Downey Jr. back in this motherfucker. It's the only thing people want to see. You could do a lot worse than filming some scenes where Tony leaves a recorded message for Rhodey, because he
if my shit ever falls in enemy hands, do this.
Come on, man.
Yes.
They better bust out that checkbook, because they ain't spend no money on this show, so they better spend some money on this movie.
I'll say this: looking at the news that dropped today with Sony, today or last night, there's a lot of shit that's about to suffer. This strike is hitting folks. These film companies who thought they were going to hold out, they thought like we're good. But when you push back stuff the way that Sony did, they're like, hey, so Craven, we know we wanted to come out this year. That's coming out next year, far into next year. Spider-Man is, we thought that was coming out next year. Now that shit's on the indefinite list. That's
wait. Be Across the Universe is Beyond the Universe is on hold?
It's on the indefinite hold list.
Oh,
no.
Indefinite. It doesn't even have a date. They have dates for the new Ghostbusters, the Venom 3.
We don't
have
want
dates
that.
for all that
we
shit,
really don't.
but no date for Spider-Man.
We gotta get Spider-Man.
That's how bad this is. They're already
and
now
nobody wanted Madam Web anyway.
No one wanted Madam Web, but that's on the calendar. What's worse is for the MCU is there is now reports coming out today. I was just reading them today saying like, hey, so we were going to put the Marvels out this year, but now we're going to probably push the Marvels back to the top of next year. So that means that this strike is fucking everyone up. Why? Because you cannot have people out there promoting the work.
Right.
Why would you put something out and they can't promote it? Tom Cruise, he did his thing with Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, because at every premiere he had the theaters packed with who? With social media stars, with influencers. Then SAG-AFTRA tried to say like, hey, any of you influencers who ever want to get into SAG-AFTRA, we're gonna not let you in. And that to me is one of the that's bullshit. That's like, we're not a part of your organization at all, and you're threatening us with never being in. Man, fuck out of here. Influencers work for movie studios. They don't work for actors. They don't work for SAG-AFTRA or
don't be a scab.
But they're not scabs because they're not
a single one
members.
of those influencers who wouldn't give their left organ of choice to actually be a movie star. Let's be
No.
clear.
But
they all want to be a Kardashian.
Every bus driver wants that. Yeah, I get that everyone wants to be in Hollywood, but how do you threaten someone who's not a part of your organization?
Hey.
That's almost like threatening an advertising agency to say, like, hey, if you do any commercials for Haunted Mansion,
but you also don't. But you don't want to be on the bad side of some of these actors who will absolutely blackball you from anything in the future.
I hear you.
The Will Smiths, the big people who are, and he's coming out. They have what is it? Is it July of next year? He's supposed to be having his Bad Boys 4. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be on the other side of these.
But that doesn't matter. There will be no Bad Boys 4. If this strike doesn't come to an end. And here's the thing: when the strike comes to an end, is any money going towards influencers? Are they part of the negotiation? Is influencers part of what they're fighting for? If not, what are we talking about?
No.
If you're not fighting for influencers,
we get it.
Money,
you are pro scab, Twala. You are pro scab.
Ryan, we had this last week. We did this last week. And
call it what you want.
Yeah, you're a fucking scroll, aren't you?
I'm just saying. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. They're not fighting. Scroll. They're not fighting for social media influencers.
Okay, Gravik. I'm gonna start calling you Gravik.
Call me whatever you want, but you cannot call me a liar. That's what you can't do.
But what I'm not gonna be is I'm not gonna be on the other side of some of these movie stars who will pass me by, and who will, and there are some of them, the bigger ones that are extremely petty. They will be like, "We know who you are. We're not gonna be bothered with you."
Good for them. They can do all they want. I'm just making it plain to show me one movie star who can say, you know what? Yes, Twala, we are fighting for social media influencers. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like to me, that's just an idle threat for SAG-AFTRA to put out. That's weird.
They can do what they want.
Yeah,
and the movie stars can do what they want. Okay, if you want to help big business when they're screwing people over, hey. You know what?
No, I would say this, Twala. Would I be more likely to believe that AI could create a convincing social media influencer or a convincing actor? Because just like most of this quote unquote rap music these days, you already had an AI rapper who was burning up the charts. You already have an AI Black African supermodel created by white creators. Mm-hmm. Who is doing cover shoots.
Yeah.
So
in India right now, there's a company in India right now that has an AI newscaster actually doing the fucking news right now.
Listen,
Netflix actually put a Netflix funny.
You could definitely do an AI influencer, and they'd have all the lingo, and they'd have the absolutely perfect look, and it would be a Rizap.
I have a friend who works in radio. I have a friend who works in radio. He just emailed me an AI generated segment.
Yeah,
and it sounds believable. I'm like,
look,
absolutely.
There are AI generated news segments.
You support that.
There are AI generated news segments. It's not about support. It's about why are you trying to deny that this shit is happening? To act like the shit ain't already happening is stupid. And if you're not preparing for that, you are stupid. That is the shit that's happening. Anyone who's a writer who thinks that this is not going to come, good luck with that. Anyone who's on radio, anyone who is replaceable in this industry, if you think that AI is not coming for you, good luck with that.
You fight the good fight. You want to know why, Twala? Because that's what heroes do.
You know what, Twala? Ryan is America's ass.
Wait,
I have a nice ass. I'll pull this shit out right now.
The Haunted House. Was it the Haunted Mansion?
Haunted Mansion.
Yes, the Haunted Mansion.
It came out. I did go see it, and that was the gimmick line throughout the. So, do you want to be a hero? By the way, I know that we're going to talk about this a little bit. The Barbie and Oppenheimer, and it kind of sucks for Mission Impossible. And it also sucks for the Haunted Mansion, i.e. Haunted Mansion should have came out in October and not July. But it actually was a pretty decent movie. I laughed. It was funny. It was a good time. It wasn't boohoo scary. It was perfect. It had all of the October lore.
What? How does it compare to the ride? Like for any of us, because I didn't see it, but when you
Yes, it does.
like, did it have all the ride stuff in it?
It did. I
Very
thought it
dope.
was very.
I think the ride is corny though. I just this is one of those things where, but seriously,
Oh,
the
no.
ride is a bunch of visual gags. So
And that's what
Pirates of the
this is.
Caribbean, you had pirates. So it was
Mhm.
going to be a pirate story. It wasn't I mean, you had Tortuga, which kind of like, you had all the other sort of stuff. But it's a pirate story. It's a classic pirate story. And Disney was rebooting a pirate franchise. Haunted Mansion is the ride that you sit in and twirl around.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
fun though.
it was.
I'm
it
not
was
saying it's not
fun,
fun.
and I
I'm
think-
saying I don't think it's a movie. Sometimes
Hmm.
Disney
I
turns a
didn't think
movie
either.
into an attraction, like in Cars in California Adventure, right? So the Cars ride is fun because people like riding in cars, and the ride goes fast, and it's all of the characters, the car you ride in looks like a character in Cars. You're encountering Mater, you're encountering Flash, and all that. So it's fun. It's you're reliving the movie. Do I want to spend almost 2 hours in a movie
It
about
is 2 hours.
the Haunted Mansion, where the first gag is that the floor stretches, and I see that in the trailer that they've got the floor stretching gag. I see that you're riding in a car throughout the house as a gag. That's fine. It's
No,
just
that
not a
is
movie
not
I
what
asked.
happened. I understand. I believe, and I thought that this was shouldn't have been made movie, and then the way that they brought this together was based in Louisiana, New Orleans, which I was like, this fits.
Mhm.
And then how you have like this haunted mansion, and they even started off with how they celebrate the dead, and so it all fits. And then you have this mansion. You go in, and the person who's the star, he has this broken heart because his wife dies, but he absolutely was an astrophysicist, and his wife is a ghost person, who believes in ghosts and does ghost tours. And so you have this whole, why they brought him in is because he can take a picture of ghosts, because he's finally figured this out.
Which character
And
is
you're
that?
trying to do Stafford.
Lakeith Stansfield.
Lakeith. Okay.
Lakeith Stafford, yeah. And so you
Okay.
have a really interesting story. And the thing that you have about the ride, is intertwined in the movie. So it doesn't not make sense. It actually makes a fitting story to where it's completely funny. It's not like on your edge scary. So I had a bunch of kids in the movie, and it fit. And I just thought I didn't think they could be this creative with making me
I will
actually
say
like
this.
a ride.
Is it
turn
a
into a movie.
franchise?
I
No.
don't know if it needs to be a franchise, but it'll also be on Disney Plus next to no time, because this film did
absolutely.
nothing.
No.
Poorly.
And this is the
3 million.
second bite at the apple for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Poorly.
This, ooh, Lord, it's been a minute since they dropped a film that did this poorly in the box office.
See, they messed
and
up.
I mean,
They
they
should have
projected
had
like
Hocus
30-something
Pocus
million.
2.
They should have been lucky if it hits 10.
They should have
That's
had
a
Hocus
lot.
Pocus 2 in the theater and had this on Disney Plus. It should have been a
I'll
swap.
buy that.
The swap should have happened in October.
Yeah, putting it out now doesn't make sense. But again, they're putting out a lot of the material that they're putting out. Look, let's be real. The strike is making decisions for the studios. They're putting out what they have complete. They can't complete nothing else. Everything that's coming out right now that we're going to get is shit that's already done. Even the things that need reshoots and stuff like that, it's all pushed back. They can't do anything. A lot of these films is just, we're going to get what we're going to get. Damn schedules, damn fit. We may get a Christmas movie in October, because that's what we're looking at right now.
But I do
We
think
just might.
that I do think though that this movie would have done better if it wasn't for Barbie. Barbie
Oh,
is
yeah.
killing it.
Barbie is smoking a lot of
Yeah.
films. Barbie is I mean, for me, look, me personally, it's not a film for me, and that's
No.
cool. It doesn't have to be for me. My daughter loved it. Her mom loved it, and ladies love it, and that's cool because that's what Barbie is for. For guys, I'm telling you guys, it's
It's not a guy's
not a
movie at
film
all.
for you in any way, shape,
I mean,
fashion.
listen, I enjoyed Barbie, and as a matter of fact, basically the entire second act was Ken's movie. So I don't know. I think there is a lot for some guys to get into it, whether or not the resolution is what they wanted. The whole middle section of that movie is a frat boy fantasy. And then you got a moment of clarity, quote unquote, with Ken, where he realizes that he doesn't have to be attached to a chick, which is also some alpha male, beta male, right wing podcast talking point bullshit too. So I just don't know if Mattel was trying to create a franchise just like the execrable 3D animation franchises they have on the Barbie IP. I don't see where this movie launches that. I don't see Barbie 2.
I don't see where, because this film for me, it's a stretch because it is really and truly a film for adult women who grew up with Barbie. It's not a film for anyone under the age of 21. I mean, I guess the uplifting feminist messaging, yeah, maybe that's for young women, but I look at this film and I'm like, this film is not for kids. I get that it's Barbie,
It's not.
but this is a film for women who remember playing with Barbie and are living in the world today. This is a film for people who are living the life of the character played by America. What's her name? Ferrara.
But I mean, that was the problem that Mattel was facing, that their doll wasn't cool anymore. So they wanted to convince moms that Barbie was cool. And so moms bring their daughters and say, look, baby, Barbie isn't a bad doll. And so they revitalize the IP.
That's not what this is going to do.
Well, but
this
no,
it
has.
That shit is at $560 million.
No,
because
women are going to see this shit in droves.
Yeah, but Tawala, I brought my daughter, and a lot of women are bringing their daughters. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to see Barbie. My daughter was really like, I really want to see it. And it's not that I dislike Barbie. It's just that I didn't think, what kind of movie are we gonna create about a doll? Like, I wasn't convinced. And how you see it on the commercials is not how you see it in the theater. And so I'm like, oh, this is a really funny, clever movie. I loved how they confronted the issues of the fact that they aren't selling, little girls aren't buying. And when I was younger, Barbie was a whole aisle of Toys R Us. And now it's not even a whole section at Target. So the thing has suffered to where it's nothing but collector's items. Like, I have a lot of collector Barbies. I don't, my daughter has had very few Barbies, let alone the Barbie condo, the Malibu house. Like, she has had none of that. I love the detail that they took into creating Barbie Land. I thought that the jokes were highly effective. And I did find myself having to explain why some of these jokes were funny, like the pregnant Barbie. That joke was hilarious. But this movie has also caught a lot of backlash. And listening to how angry men are has actually gotten more women to the theater. To the point that I have had that this movie this week has been jam-packed. I don't care if you go to the 10 o'clock showing all the way down to the 10 p.m. showing. It is almost 75% or more filled.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It is 75% or more filled with women. I think the marketing campaign for this and the overall message of the film, it appeals absolutely to women. And there are a lot of parts where I laughed. I took my daughter to go see it. There are a lot of parts that laughed, but I absolutely understand the backlash that is getting just because of the world that we live in. I mean, this film is set in two different worlds. You have the Barbie world where women run everything, and you have the real world where men allegedly run everything. And you have that battle of the sexes in mentality alone. because nothing that's in this film is real. It's an idea, and I get why when you look at how the idea of manhood is pushed right now. I see why dudes who are sensitive or in their feelings, I see why they're upset. That this film, this is not a film for this is not a film that's messaging for us. It's just not. It's
no, it's
you know,
not.
men
It's not
shouldn't be
intended
mad
to
at a film that's like, this film is literally designed
But
to uplift women.
Barbie has never tried to grab men.
Never.
And even Ken was never for men. I mean, I wish somebody would buy my son or my cousins when they were growing up a Barbie, a Ken. Ken was an afterthought. And I love how they even hinted to this, like, all Ken does, they didn't hint, they said it. All Ken does is wait for Barbie to smile. Like, this is your job today.
Yeah.
And essentially that is what Ken was. Like, Ken, I only had a Ken is because Ken came with Barbie sometimes. I didn't even go out and buy a Ken. My mom didn't buy a Ken. I didn't want a Ken. So so to me, I get the anger. And I will say another thing about the anger though. The one aspect that I do get is I didn't think that she was married. This whole time I was like, oh, she's a single mom. And so when he find out that they're married at the end, I was like, oh, I wouldn't have expected that. I mean, because of the way that she kind of really disregarded him. I was like, oh, okay, well, I can see that could be a bit offensive. Other than that, I thought the whole thing wasn't offensive and I didn't care.
No, well,
and I thought it hit it on the nail in a lot of ways. And you hear women walking out, their daughters asking them questions like, what's the patriarchy? My daughter was like, what's a gynecologist? And the Zack Snyder joke was hilarious. So I thought it was a good movie. And this movie's going to hit $1 billion pretty quickly.
Pretty quick, yeah. Yeah, it'll probably be the only film of the summer to do it, because even as good as Dead Reckoning is, it's just it came out at the wrong fucking time. Sure it came out, look, you had one film after another film after another film, and Barbie's coming out towards the end, Haunted Mansion. And here's another way that Barbie won is that they did a lot of press prior to the release of Barbie. And so a lot of the interviews that you're seeing running right now are interviews that they recorded a while ago while they were just talking about it. And so, because everyone is like, how in the fuck can they do press? Like, and they're like, they're not. This is damn near B-roll press that they already had, because actors are not supposed to be doing any Google press whatsoever. And that's another reason this film is winning. While, like, say, a Haunted Mansion, there's been no one to talk about it except for people who have seen it. So reviewers are talking about it. That's not going to get anyone to a theater. Word of mouth for Dead Reckoning through the roof. Film's not going to break anywhere near close to $1 billion. Barbie not only has the word of mouth, but it has the marketing behind it that is second to none. Barbie's marketing, you have never seen marketing like this. I can't remember the last time a company hit on every head with the marketing. It's through the roof.
Google
the fucking
Barbie.
WB Tower is pink. The WB on the Warner Brothers Tower in Burbank, right down the street from us, is pink. We passed by that. My daughter was like, "Whoa, that's big."
But wait.
Marketing.
Have you Googled the Barbie?
The who?
Google Barbie.
Oh yeah, no. When you Google Barbie, your screen turns pink and flashes. Shit is wild. That's stellar marketing, and I'm extremely happy for Margot Robbie for having the vision and really getting behind this. I don't anyone who wants to doubt Margot Robbie as far as being a producer for film need to leave that lady alone. Stop trying to question what the fuck she does. Margot Robbie is about this business.
But to Tom's point, Mattel actually does want to make this whole, they want to turn all their toys into movies. And I do think that they need to pump so many brakes. Polly Pocket movie is in discussion.
Yeah, Polly Pocket is next. Yep.
No, but they have enough.
Polly Pocket is a little doll that
sounds like a teeny little doll. Never mind. I'm not even going to say what it sounds like.
I mean, Polly Pocket is.
Damn it, Ryan.
I'm not even going to say what it sounds like. Sorry, Mom.
Don't you dare.
No, but they
That's
have
going to be their
another one. What are
merchandising when the movie comes out.
Yeah, but
No,
what are
no,
the
no,
all-
no, Mattel. I know that they lost Masters of the Universe at Netflix because the budget was too big, and so now they're shopping Masters of the Universe
They want to do
to
Barney.
another
They want
thing.
to do a
Barney, but
Barney.
Barney is an adult spin on Barbie. I mean on Barney. Barney.
Magic 8 Ball.
Yep.
I don't know how you're gonna do that.
Yep. They're doing an
mean,
Uno. Mattel is
Give
doing
it to
an
the
Uno
folks at
movie.
Haunted Mansion.
Uno.
I mean, look, they're
Uno. What are
doing
you gonna do with Uno?
movie. Yeah. They're doing a lot. I know they're doing a Play-Doh movie. Look, right
Well,
now.
Play-Doh I buy.
Because that could be
Yes,
animated.
no,
Play-Doh,
and of course they're doing a Hot
Claymation,
Wheels
soft
movie.
and, I buy that.
Hot Wheels I
Yeah,
can get.
Hot Wheels movie as well. They're doing that as well. So look, right now between Hasbro and Mattel, they are absolutely licensing all their IPs into films. You know, the Hasbro G.I. Joe
American
Transformers
Girl.
universe. Mattel, they're building a fucking amusement park in Arizona of all places where they will have a life-size Barbie dream house, a Hot Wheels ride,
You better have some
a
air
Castle
conditioning.
Grayskull attraction,
Thank you.
Thomas
Thank you.
Train.
It's 150
No. Here's the thing.
Barbie's dream air conditioner.
No, it is an
walked
indoor
the
theme
Earth
park.
of Phoenix when it was 122 degrees. Fuck you, Mattel.
Yeah, no,
Damn.
it's
calling
an
you Moses.
indoor theme park, indoor with just a few attractions that are outside, but the most part it'll be indoor. They
So it's
thought
a
about
mall.
that.
Great.
Where you buy, it's a mall where you buy.
Thanks,
Mattel toys.
Maltel.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
what, KB Toys? Great.
I cannot.
Oh,
That's
man.
hilarious. Oh gosh. Anyway.
The another film that came out that absolutely we cannot end this show without mentioning, and I understand why it didn't hit the big screen because the audience for it's a very narrow audience.
You're not going to mention Oppenheimer?
We'll get to Oppenheimer because I didn't see that shit, so you know it's not on my list.
Here's my review of Oppenheimer as it pertains to Florence Pugh.
Okay.
I cannot.
Okay.
Tom put a giant watermelon-sized nipple on our video.
I don't need that image in my head.
I was telling somebody I was whitewater rafting yesterday, and we happened to be talking about movies in one of the many extended periods of relative inactivity on the river. And I said, Oppenheimer has more sex in it than any other movie about nuclear physics ever.
Fine. That's good. That's good.
And that is accurate. It was not the overwhelming thing, but I will tell you, seeing Florence Pugh's nipples on 70 millimeter IMAX, watermelon-esque is not an overstatement.
That's hilarious.
It's just it is.
Give Daddy a kiss.
Wow. It is the loudest movie I have ever experienced.
It
the
was
sex
loud.
scenes? The sex scenes were loud?
No, well, you know what wasn't loud? The bomb scene.
The bomb scene wasn't loud.
The bomb scene is silent, and then
visually.
there's reverberations after.
It
Sex.
Oh wow, Ryan. It was so loud, and there are moments where I had to cover my ears. Like it was loud. Like I was shaking by how loud this was. Like I cannot believe the constant noise to the point where like when people are talking. And so sometimes I was like, okay, I can't even hear all that is saying because it's that loud.
It was
Yeah,
loud.
I mean, look, the overwhelming response for Oppenheimer was it is a good look at Oppenheimer's life. His film is not about the bomb. The film is about his life. The fact that he was a sexual deviant, I guess. I don't know.
No, he's not a deviant. He was
I don't know.
He just cheated on his wife.
People, yeah, that's the takeaway. A lot.
But the other wife.
A lot.
Florence was never married to him, but Emily Blunt.
He was married.
That's right. They were married and then divorced, and then he kept on with her and her nipples.
Sure.
And then she committed suicide.
Sure. I mean, look,
and he was sleeping with other people too, which also impacted him negatively when he was. And listen, Robert Downey Jr. Playing Stanley Tucci was amazing. I I
The
did
trailer,
not recognize
the trailers give me that. Yeah.
I unrecognizable until I saw him on screen. I was like, holy cow, that's Robert Downey Jr. in old makeup. What am I seeing here?
Old face.
It was. I didn't know that the movie was about Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. I had no idea. But
And
it's Salieri and Mozart.
And I think that it did a really good job at making a 3-hour movie not feel, for me, like a 3-hour movie. Like it did push it along. Well, I didn't feel it. It did push it along a lot. And I thought that it does give the aspect of the politics behind,
for sure,
behind all of these other things. Like we see the effects of it. And there's a lot of pushback against this movie. People wanted, because people wanted Japanese, from a Japanese perspective, like we need to have the Japanese people who have been harmed by the bomb to have a face in the movie.
I mean,
and I disagree
they
with
talk
it.
about the people in was it New Mexico, wherever where the bomb went off, who were also affected, the tribes that were there.
The indigenous people are
upset. Like I get it. Look, this film is from my understanding, Mo broke down a review where he's like, it's good, it's not great, it's not a documentary, y'all.
No.
It's not a documentary. This is a film. This is a film telling a story about a specific moment in this man's life. The film is not about the bomb, it's about him. It is about Oppenheimer, and that's what you go in and see. If you think anything else, well, then that's your fault for buying the damn ticket.
I mean, it's called Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the politics behind science. And there's a lot of politics behind science, behind university research. And so I thought it does a really good job, especially why else, during the time of the post-World War II, of course you're going to have anybody who has free thought or who has a different opinion is going to be, discussed as a communist.
Sounds like it should be called Sloppenheimer, if anything.
The old Sloppenheimer.
Only real people know.
Damn.
Don't try to act like you know what I'm talking about, Tom.
But to be fair, this had a very big opening as well.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a fine movie. There's nothing. I felt the length. No, let me say this. Yay! I was aware of the time in the movie.
I cannot.
I wasn't bored by the movie. I thought the movie did a good job. But the movie was at least 30 minutes longer than it needed to be.
So it's a little bit of sloppiness.
How was the girth of the movie?
Oh, it was girthy and veiny.
It's so immature.
Okay.
Anyway,
right.
But my point is that this is a second, having these two movies do so well, Barbie and Oppenheimer, just killed Mission Impossible. Like, I mean, it just...
I mean, look,
surprised by that, too. I'm really surprised by that.
I am too.
Again, Mission Impossible, there is literally zero wrong with Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible is as good a film as Tom Cruise could have made. He was operating on all cylinders in that shit, and you can see the blood, sweat, and tears he put into it. But again, anything that was coming out before those two, again, also the major promotion between those two, it became a thing unto itself with the Barbenheimer, and that's all any news outlet was talking about. Barbenheimer, because it became a thing, because everyone is so trendy and about this thing that's hot and new, that's what everyone chases when it comes to promotion of media and entertainment. And that's what folks gravitate to. People who have never even fucking heard of Oppenheimer, like, I'm gonna go see Oppenheimer. Sure you are.
And I felt bad because home dude jumped off a freaking mountain.
Listen,
and cried.
The only thing I will say is that because it is so long, the likelihood of somebody wanting to watch that movie again,
that's fair,
is very minor. I would watch Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible again. Because it was a thrill ride. Now, it's true. If it had the 2 weeks grace that The Flash got, because of Dial of Destiny, if it had been launched in the Dial of Destiny 2 week window, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But Barbie was too much of a juggernaut, and
Yep.
Oppenheimer was too much of an event. And it was just, this is film number 7. So, maybe the urgency isn't there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's fair.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's well worth seeing. And, the hype is going to die down. Obviously, it's a very strong second week hold for Barbie and Oppenheimer. They're still number 1 and number 2. Haunted Mansion's relegated to number 3, which does not portend very well for Mission Impossible, because if Mission Impossible makes less than 20 million this week on the domestic stage, then that's really not great. It's doing fine on the overseas markets, and so that's where it usually performs the best anyway. So, it's not like it's a disaster, but it's surprising that a movie of this strength in a franchise that is this old is as good as it is. We didn't have a right to expect that this movie was going to be, because let's be serious. Fast and Furious for the last couple films has been dodgy as fuck. So
no, it's been dodgy. It's been dodgy at
the
box office. Comparatively compared to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, James Wright wanted to know how that did. It just broke even. It made its money back worldwide, and that's about all you could expect for it. It made like 40 million in profit. And it was decent. It was exactly what it was going to be. It wasn't going to be earth shattering. Harrison Ford is old as shit, man. Like, what did you want from the movie? He finished the story.
Joe Biden of the MCU.
Yeah, and that's what they did with it. But really, at this point, coming out, moving forward, there isn't a lot at all.
So maybe Mission Impossible will get the advantage of the season effectively being over, and people will go back to support it.
Well, next week it's Ninja Turtles.
Oh, Ninja Turtles, yeah.
But Ninja Turtles is very, very niche for the movie going audience. Kids.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know if there's enough kids who want to see it or adults who want to remember their past with Ninja Turtles. It's kind of like most folks who think about Ninja Turtles, like, there's a movie about Ninja Turtles again. It's not like, oh, Ninja Turtles. It's like, wait, what? What's going on with why? Why is there a movie about Ninja Turtles? I get Seth Rogen wanted to do it. He's animated. The animation looks great. It looks interesting. But to me, that's some shit that comes on at home. That's not something you go to theaters to see. That movie looks like it's made for streaming. Not that, and I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I'm not talking about whether it's good or bad.
And it's an hour and a half.
It should be on a streaming platform. It shouldn't be in theaters, especially right now.
It's short. It's an hour and a half movie too.
Hell, the movies that are coming straight to streaming right now, shit is running to streaming after hitting theaters. That alone is a problem for a Hollywood that's just there's too many movies, not enough time. Everyone doesn't have 3 hours to go, 3+ hours to go and see Oppenheimer. Mission Impossible was 240+ with trailers. Even though I saw it twice, the second time I saw it, it was just I had the advantage of going to go see it. I don't know if I would have seen it had I not needed to kill 3 hours during that time. But, and again, I liked it even more the second time because I was able to take in more of the film. But, and then you have Blue I saw Beetle Barbie. I took my daughter to see that. Her mother took her to see it. So that's 2 times for Barbie. But I'm not going to go see Haunted Mansion. No way will I go into a theater to see that. I don't give a fuck how good it is. It's just shit ain't happening. And there's literally nothing else coming out really this year. Everything's being pushed out. Blue Beetle, that second trailer for Blue Beetle that I saw when I was watching Mission Impossible, that second trailer makes me think the film is actually going to be silly now. I really want to like it, but when you see Grandma shooting the Gatling gun, I'm just like, I'm out. I'm already out.
That's analogous to Ryan and the baby shooting Thor lightning out of the bunny.
Yeah.
Thank you. The second trailer for Blue Beetle, it leaned too heavily for what I saw. My take on it was too many Latino stereotypes, and it looked like it was going for too many low-hanging fruit jokes. The second trailer, I really want to love it. I really want to support Sholo. Me and his mom go way back. So I want to support it, period, just because he's in it. Just because he's in it, and I want the film to win. But I am worried that this film is being just thrown out there, and they don't really care about it, because ultimately we're all going to walk out of there saying it's a lot like Shazam, which is, it gives me right now, I'm thinking it's giving me the Shazam vibes.
There's no point in watching it. It's not connected to anything. So
yeah, exactly. That's
point.
another thing. It's another point that's just like, well, we're just putting out a movie. It's not a part of a larger universe. It's just, hey, go and see Blue Beetle. If James Gunn, I guess if he sees it and he's like, man, I really, really like Sholo's performance and I really love him as Blue Beetle, maybe he'll work him into a future project. I don't know. But right now, he has said literally everything starts with my Superman movie. Nothing before my Superman movie is a part of my universe. He has said so much. And that's bad for Aquaman, which is supposedly going in for more reshoots. Why, bruh? Shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
They've cut out so much stuff from that movie. They've cut out both Batmans.
Yeah,
they're just doing shit just to do it. I don't get it.
Just to do it. Before we go too far over, because we're at a minute.
And Meg 2 is coming out too.
What?
Meg 2.
Well, fuck Meg 2. I know gonna see
Strays.
No,
I want to see Strays.
I want to see Strays.
Like, but so these are those. I got the AMC pass. Kind of, I'm just gonna go to the movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, these ain't things that people's gonna have.
Talk to me. I'm going to see Talk to Me. I'm excited about seeing Talk to Me.
Okay, no doubt. They cloned Tyrone was phenomenal. That's all I want to say about that. They cloned Tyrone was good as shit. If you didn't grow up in the hood, you may not get a single thing that they're talking about. It may be so far over your head. You're like, what, the who, the huh? But if you have lived in the hood, if you have lived that Black experience, damn it, this shit is everything. This is what everyone in every barbershop, in on every street corner, when you talk about, man, it's a conspiracy, this fucking film is that. So I just want to say that shit was dope. Quickly, Dr. Liz, what you watching on TV?
Actually, I watched the Beanie Baby movie that came on Apple TV Plus.
Is it about Beanie Babies?
It is.
Yes, I think it's the Beanie Bubble. He is a jerk. I was so upset. I was like so upset. The fact that the person who is culpable, who is the reason why Beanie Baby became what it is. They had their first website. They were the first toy maker to have a website. Like all of that is because of a young lady who made $12.50, and then he had the audacity to try to increase her salary $20. And so I looked her up because I was like, you mean to tell me you got no stock options, no nothing? And I found out she got nothing. Like, she really did make $12.50. And in real life, he didn't even give her a $20 raise after she helped him get to $1 billion company. It is astounding. I mean, I know that she's done well afterwards. She's went and had her own consulting firm and she's done well, but that is horrible. Yeah. I mean, he is a jerk. Like, he is a jerk of all jerks. I am so upset I ever bought a Beanie Baby.
I always say, man, you know, to me, these corporate tycoons, they're pretty much all assholes.
That's why you shouldn't be a scab or support scabs.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you like that?
Fuck out of here. What are you watching, McBain?
I've been playing this game called The Expanse.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
Is it like the series?
It's like the series. Know. I didn't finish the series, but I watched half of it, okay, lady?
You didn't even finish season 1. You wouldn't know.
I got to season 3, okay? Thank you very much. Yes, okay, so you play as Drummer. She's a badass. The only problem with the game is it's episodic. There's 5 episodes, and they release episodes every 2 weeks. So, and the first episode's short, so I loved it. It had me sucked in, and it ends on a cliffhanger. I'm just mad because I want more, but I got to wait 2 weeks. So that's what I've been doing.
Okay. Fucking dope. I like the sound of that.
3 seasons I've watched.
Anthony, what you watching?
I don't know. I got to figure something out to watch to get the taste of Secret Invasion out of my mouth. So I may have to go back to a comfort show and watch that.
No doubt. No doubt. What about you, Tom?
Well, I watched the Beanie Bubble as well, and I thought, interestingly, it paired very nicely with what some of the messaging behind Barbie was, which is, you know, you had these 3 women that they focused on that were important pieces to the development of the hype and drama surrounding Beanie Babies, and then its catastrophic slide when his behavior threw all those women out of his orbit. So you had Siobhan from Succession, who played a single mother, one of whose daughters actually designed Spooky, which is one of the first generation of the Beanie Babies. And he selfishly took her name off of the tag. And then you had Elizabeth Banks, who was like his business partner who actually started the company with him. She was the salesperson. She was the differentiating factor because she was sexy and he was this kind of weird, narcissistic, closeted, bi person, maybe. They kind of toy around with that notion, but that she was the actual brains and he was a bit of a hapless idiot who put in the investment capital. And then the last person is the one that Liz alluded to, Maya, who was right on the front end as a 17-year-old who started interning for the company and working part-time, and was right at the cusp of the emergence of the internet, and how she set the stage and her insights really set the stage for what turned into the explosion. And she kind of predicted the fall because his greed caused him to start pushing out more product than the market was willing to bear. And then everything kind of spiraled. He's still worth $6.6 billion apparently, but
damn.
He didn't get that little girl. He didn't get that little girl a dime for
yeah,
creating.
no, it was messed up. Now they do put a happy end. Well, I won't go watch it. I think you'll enjoy it. Zach Galifianakis plays kind of a similar character to what he normally plays, which is kind of a narcissistic, annoying person. But he's enjoyable. Looks a whole lot like a young John Goodman, actually. It was uncanny.
That's
it was
true.
difficult to, he really could play John Goodman's younger brother in a lifetime version of his life or something. He played the hell out of John Goodman. But I thought that was worth it. I'm excited about seeing Talk to Me. It's another A24 movie. A24 has been doing a very good job for me. I've been enjoying the films that I've seen from them. And it is a horror film. For those who aren't aware, it's a horror film centered on a Black protagonist who is seeking connection with her recently deceased mother. And this hand totem kind of opens the door to, you know, horrible things because it's a horror movie. But it's 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's supposed to be very, very good. And so I am going to be seeing that. Man.
Only thing I'm watching, well, I just finished watching, is an anime series called Gurren Lagann, which is a story about an alternate Earth wherein aliens had come to the planet Earth and driven humans underground, and the protagonist in the story finds a mech, you know, that has drills on it, and him and a character who has adopted him as his brother. They're fighting to get to the surface, and once they get to the surface, it's all hell breaks loose, and it kind of is an evolution of humanity in a very, very short amount of time, from being essentially cave people to being, you know, masters of this alien mech. And it's quite possibly one of the best anime series I've watched in a long time. I mean, it's up there with Demon Slayer. It's up there with My Hero Academia. It's up there. It is really, really good. A short series, like 26 episodes. It's not a long series. It ends pretty quickly, and it's one of the few series that starts and does not stop, and it gets better and better and better and better. And Gurren Lagann is dope. Mashley, Muscles and Magic is really dope. Of course, that waiting for that to come back. And suffering through One Piece, man. One Piece, I don't know why I'm still stuck on this series, because damn it needs to end, but still stuck on it. Waiting for, actually, I don't know if you saw the new trailer, Tom, but the new trailer for the live action One Piece, it looks pretty good, man. I don't know.
Basically, you're saying Gurren Lagann is the opposite of Secret Invasion, which is good to know.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, I know that Mo doesn't like it because he didn't even finish watching the first episode. But Tom and I are you just as stressed about Hijack?
I am waiting at this point. I am waiting until Hijack is done. When all of it is done, I will sit and watch all of it. I'm not going to sit there and be tortured week by week. When it finally is done, I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch it all, because frankly, there's been so much going on in so many different movies, and seeing, multiple movies a week has been tricky for me. But I did my whitewater rafting trip. I had a great time with Thomas. We did 38 miles of river between Thursday and Friday. I'm sore. I had to take multiple leave. But it was a good trip. I did enjoy whitewater rafting with my son on the American River. We did the whole South Fork on the first day, and then we did the Middle Fork yesterday.
And by the way, and then I'll shut up. Swagger on Apple TV Plus. Like, this is the best season. I have had so many emotions by Swagger from
on Apple TV, huh? Interesting.
I know. No, seriously. Shocker. I know. No, but I mean, it has had me in so many different emotions. Like, I didn't like where the story was going. But it's about those kids playing high school ball. And clearly this is going to be the last season because it started when they were 14. I love how it came back by the time that they look like they're seniors. So then all their voices are changed. One of the boys, he's now like gigantic. Like, he had complete growth spurt. And so it really makes you feel. And then last episode, I was just in tears because they played a team in a detention center, a boys' detention center, and some of them were from the old neighborhood that they used to play against, that they played on the same team together. And then one of them had had a mental break, and so you had all of these emotions, and they're dealing with the tension of a scandal that's happening that's completely derailing their career right now. Combine that with the love story that took place this week. I mean, the love story that happened between the two main characters, the girl and the boy, it is just a fantastic season. And the writers that are on strike are tweeting up a storm, thanking people for watching the show. And it is just such a good show. When I say,
and Finn Jones plays the rival coach, so there's something.
There you go.
I might watch now. Seriously, does he really?
No,
but last episode,
I was gonna watch too. You got me.
But guess who? Yeah, but guess who was there though? The dude who was involved in the protests in Mexico City. He's at he's the I can't remember names. I can't remember names.
The two people in Mexico
from the Olympics. And they protested in Mexico City, the Olympics, and then the track runners with the fists. It was in Mexico City. Why are y'all looking at me strange?
No, you're talking about Jesse Owens and Tommy.
You talking about
Tommy Smith?
Tommy Smith?
Tommy Smith. He's in the movie.
I forget that name.
Well, because I'm a Black woman with kids. I forget everything. And he's in it. And he's talking to them, and I was like, I love this even more. It is such a good show. When I tell you, such a good show, it is a trigger. You will love it. You will like it. You will have emotions all over the place.
TV. I just would.
Well, you
I'm
can
just
use
not
my.
getting.
You can use
Look.
mine.
I rely on you. Apple TV definitely needs to
You
cut
have
you
to
a
watch
check.
this.
Because you are a writer,
The
girl.
check cutting.
You support Apple TV like I support Vin Jones.
True that.
It is magnificent, and even
Vin
Steph
Jones is,
Curry's
yes,
documentary. Steph Curry's documentary, loved it.
Oh, underrated.
Hmm.
Yes, it was well worth the watch.
All right.
Yeah.
His workout is
Okay.
really good.
Well, that is that's gonna have to be it for us because we are
That's our
long
time.
in the
That's our
tooth.
time.
Yes. It's Oppenheimer length. Jesus.
Why does Florence Pugh's nipples look? On that note, Anthony, good sir, take us out, brother.
You need to keep both eyes closed.
Oh.
Shit. Dr. Liz.
Cowabunga, dude.
Big Bang.
You pimped us, Marvel. You pimped us.
Tom.
Where is my nipple suit?
Excelsior.
That's what heroes do. That's what heroes do.
He is America's ass.